Sarvendriya gunabhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam Asaktam sarvabhrikshaiva Nirgunam gunabhoktracha. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet is without senses. It is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all the living being. It transcends the modes of nature, at the same time is the master of all the modes of material nature. So actually this is contradiction. But Krishna, because Krishna is transcendental, is satisfied. And because we are conditioned, it looks contradiction. Okay. So it's a very famous shloka. Actually, Prabhupada gives very nice class on this. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. All the senses that we see. Krishna does not have original source of senses, but he is at the same time without senses. So what do we understand? So the impersonalists will be very happy to make a Mayavada commentary on this. They say, hey, Sarvendriya gunabhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam. Ye to ho gaya. The God has senses at the same time. God does not have senses, but he is the creator of the senses. So we have proved God doesn't have senses. It's not true. Why? Because it is Krishna, it is said, he sees the past, present and future. Not only he sees, he can see past, present and future. We can see this moment now, that's all. But Krishna can not only see what you are doing now, he can see what you did all in the past. How can he see without having eyes? We have eyes, but we can see only present. Correct? I cannot see the past, but Krishna can see the past, present, and he can, knowing you, he can even tell what you will do in the future. Correct? Even as friends, we can always predict, this person will do like this. That is our conditioning. But Krishna can know past, present and future so easily. So how can he is not seeing? He is seeing. It is said all his senses are there. When you do offering of bhoga, Krishna is in Goloka, he can take. You can request him, his hand will come, he can take. You say it doesn't have legs. Krishna can go faster than anything. There is no speed. At any speed, Krishna can appear. And so many pastimes we see. When Gajendra was praying for Narayana, Shiva Vaishnava discusses a lot because they are mainly Narayana worshippers. They discuss Narayana mercy. So they take this pastime of Lord Narayana coming from Vaikuntha, when Gajendra cried in great despair. So they came, the Narayana came. So he came very fast. The distance between here to the material universe, whatever we see, that's a boundary. That they say is light years. It's huge amount of time. Correct? But the Lord can come in a second. So it's very nice. He is a creator of senses, but he is without senses, means he is without material senses. And Prabhupada clarifies in the purport that even the soul does not have material senses. Soul has spiritual senses. Right? But it is covered. It is covered by this body. So Krishna can accept any offering you offer to him from any distance. So many times Krishna has done that. Krishna can hear our prayers. Like Draupadi was praying to Krishna. Krishna is in Dwarka, he can hear. Actually, not only in Dwarka, he is everywhere. But for your understanding, to make it easier, you cannot understand how he is everywhere. You can understand he is in Dwarka, Krishna can hear. So he has senses. And devotees, even whole Bhagavatam was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj with senses. He spoke with his mouth. And Arjun, and who heard? With senses. Parikshit Maharaj heard with senses. The whole spiritual knowledge comes with senses. It is not nonsense. Like some propaganda they have made. Some joker put a hand on somebody, he got an electric shock and he got discharged and he got spiritual knowledge. Simply propaganda. This is not the way spiritual knowledge is ever taught. Shukadeva Goswami did not give an electric shock to Parikshit Maharaj. He spoke with senses, sensible knowledge. And Parikshit Maharaj heard with senses. Correct? And therefore there was a total meaning in the whole thing. Even Krishna spoke to Arjuna with senses. Krishna was standing in front of Arjuna in a beautiful form with senses. Krishna spoke with his mouth, with senses. And who heard? Arjuna heard with senses. Correct? You can understand or not? There was no, where we see, no senses Krishna had. Krishna spoke with senses. In fact, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyate mam abuddhaya. Only fools conclude that I don't have senses. Fools conclude that avyakta, previously I had no personality, no form, no senses, but I taken a form in this world of senses. The Lord has senses. Even soul has senses. But only thing is that why the Mayavadis are not able to understand, because they project matter on spirit. Which is wrong. You cannot do that. Yesterday we were discussing this point. You take rope for a snake. Rope exists, snake also exists. What Mayavadi do, they say that rope is an illusion. Nonsense. Rope is not an illusion. Rope is there. Illusion is the way you are looking at the rope as a snake. Illusion is the way you are looking at the rope as a snake. Rope is existing, snake is existing. They say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Snake is Satya and rope is Mithya. Rope is not Mithya. You are Mithya. Your way of looking at the rope is Mithya. You understood this point? It's a very nice argument. They say rope is Mithya. How is rope Mithya? Rope exists. But the way you are looking at the rope, that is Mithya. And you are thinking the rope is snake, that is also Mithya. That is your problem. But rope exists, snake also exists. Similarly, we think about the God. We think in terms of matter. Rope doesn't have life. Snake is something different from the rope. Snake moves, it has life. So what they do, impersonalists, they do not accept the descending process of knowledge properly. They only take the part which they can somewhat understand. Therefore Prabhupada says, if you use mental speculation to understand God, you will end up in impersonalism. Impersonalism, therefore, Gyanis, they speculate. You cannot understand. Prabhupada says, you can only know neti. Therefore, the only thing they do, na iti. It's not like that. Na iti. It doesn't have senses. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. What it is, Prabhupada says, you cannot know unless you hear from the spiritual authority with faith. There is no way to know about the Lord except as He reveals Himself through the parampara of acharyas. There is no other way. Atah Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet graham indriyai sevon mukhe jivadau swayameva spurati yataha. The Lord Himself reveals Himself to whom He chooses. Correct? Chiram vichinnam. अथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजम द्वया प्रसादलेश अनुगृहीत एव हि जानामि तत्त्वं भगवन् महिम्नो न तु एव अपि चिरं विचिन्नम. You can go on for millions of years, Krishna will not be revealed. Krishna will be revealed when He chooses to reveal Himself to somebody. It is His choice. So it's a descending process. It is not a process which you can capture. Krishna chooses, He reveals Himself to you. And you are benefited, you are blessed. Okay? So first thing is that why this mistake is happening, that people are thinking God is without senses. Even Gyanis, big learned, so-called Vedic followers, because they do not accept the Vedic knowledge as it is. And when they see so much wonderful knowledge coming in, that descending from the acharyas, from the Shastra, where the God's beautiful form is explained and glorified, they do some interpretation on it and try to avoid it. Okay? Just like the lawyers. The lawyer's business is not, I heard a joke, lawyer's business is not to know the law. Lawyer's business is how to interpret the law in such a way to protect the client. Like chartered account, their business is to interpret the law in such a way so that the client doesn't pay any tax. Correct? That is how they do. They find some loopholes. The same way actually the Mayavadis, impersonalists, they maintain the material view of the Lord. Even though in the Veda there is such wonderful glorification of the Lord, His personality, they avoid that. Okay? That is. So therefore you have to understand the shloka as the Acharyas are explaining, as other Vedic literatures are explaining. Even though the Lord doesn't have senses, that means He doesn't have material senses. Okay? Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam. Even though He does not have material senses, He has spiritual senses. Otherwise, how He can see? Sa akshaja. How He can see? Vedanta Sutra says He saw. And by just seeing, He created the material world. He unlimited living entities. He gave birth in the material world. How? Because He has spiritual eyes. When Lord Rama was looking at the ocean, what was happening? Whole ocean was shaking. Why? Lord Rama's eye is spiritual. You can make ocean shake by just looking. That is not possible. So, Sarvendriya gunabhasam, Sarvendriya vivarjitam. What is the next? Asaktam, Sarva bhrichayva. This is very interesting. He is the maintainer of all the living entities, but He has no attachment. How is it possible? Mother takes care of two children and she doesn't have attachment. Generally it is like that. He is not attached sentimentally. He has affection for all the living entities. Definitely. Nobody in material world can surpass Him. His affection is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, the best well-wisher. But Krishna doesn't have sentimental attachment. Just like Arjuna was crying on the battlefield. Krishna was not crying. He is not sentimental. Looking at his foolishness. Correct? That's what happens. So Krishna is the maintainer. So many living entities suffering. Krishna is not sentimental. Because He only arranges that for their reformation. Just like, suppose the child has become a drug addict. And you ask the father. What? You ask the father. What do you ask the father? That please take care. Okay, na? So father says, if there is somebody who can correct him, okay, they got a doctor. The doctor says, I may have to slap him. Is it fine? He says, please pull my child out of drugs, do whatever you want. Correct? He will give full freedom. So Krishna gives full freedom to Maya to reform his children whichever way it is needed. Justly needed. So Maya does. So therefore there we see some sufferings in the world. We should not misunderstand this. The sufferings in the world are for what? For our reformation. Krishna is not sentimental. He is the maintainer definitely. He is the best well-wisher. But his best well-wishing is spiritual. He is spiritually well-wishing every living entity. Just like even the people who died in the battlefield, Krishna's well-wish was there for their good. Because they will be reformed from that limitation. And then next, what is the last one? Sarvendriya gunabhasam, Sarvendriya vivarjitam, Asaktam sarva bhrichaiva. He is not attached, at the same time is the maintainer of all the living entities. You understand? Nirguna guna bhoktarapai. He is nirguna because no material qualities Krishna has. Krishna does not show any material quality. You know different material qualities? Krishna does not show any one of them. But at the same time, he has all the qualities. Am I? Krishna's quality is a spiritual. So when we say nirguna, nirguna means he has no material qualities. So therefore it is needed. The Vedic literatures are read with the help of a guru, not blindly. That is why all these mistakes are happening. Just like, suppose I have been developing this so much time. Suppose you don't have any school, we don't have any colleges, just we have a library in Mangalore, Central Library. You can take book from that, you will get degree. It will not work. Somebody has to teach you. Even for ordinary books, you need a teacher so that you don't misunderstand. Correct? And you understand properly the intent of the author. Proper say the intent of the author has to be properly explained. Other people will read between the lines and take some other meaning. Agree? So same way, the intent of the author, Krishna, has to be explained to the Guru Parampara. Somebody has properly been trained. Then this misunderstanding doesn't come. Otherwise it's contradicting. All the things, four things are contradicting here. What are the first thing contradicting? The Lord does not have senses, but He is creator of the senses. He doesn't have senses. He doesn't have material senses. Lord's senses are spiritual. Agree? Otherwise, how Krishna in the mouth can show the universe. He has senses. Mouth is there, but it is spiritual. His whole body is spiritual. So we do not understand because you are imposing material ideas on the Lord. Why you are doing that? Who are you to do that? Why you are doing this foolishness? Why you are so proud of yourself? Just like it becomes like a Kupa Manduka Nyaya, logic of the frog in the well. The frog has only seen his well. Now whole world has to be according to what he has seen. What is this nonsense? You are a small frog in a small well. Your information is only that much. Therefore, as I said in the beginning, your understanding of God will only come when you hear submissively to the Lord as He is revealing Himself. Not by your hallucination, imaginations which have no limit. Okay? So therefore this contradiction is solved. How it is solved? Krishna is the source of all senses, but He has no material senses, as spiritual senses. What is the next thing? Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvedriya vivrjitam. Next. Asaktam sarvabhrichaiva. Second one. He is not attached to anybody, but he is the maintainer of all the living entities. This is a contradiction. How can he be a maintainer without being attached? How is it possible? What is the reason? What is the reason? The reason is he is not sentimentally attached to anybody. Arjuna is saying, Krishna, this war will be very painful. Hey, go through that. Krishna, how can I kill my grandfather? Krishna is not sentimentally attached. He is attached spiritually. He wants your real welfare. Our real problem in the life is birth, death, old age and disease. These are my major problems. Rest of the problems are silly problems which we only imagine. In this world, you see in the newspaper, magazine, TV, do they discuss his main problem? Never. They discuss silly problems. Well, he said that. Why you are wasting your time? Your main problem is death is coming. Your main problem is old age is coming. These are the main problem. Krishna wants to solve the main problems for the soul. Unnecessarily the soul is experiencing birth, death, old age and disease. Unnecessarily. Correct? So Krishna is not after the silly sentiments of this world. Just like we give an example. Somebody is dreaming and in the dream he has so much pain and confusion. Wake him up, no? Why you want to get into his dream? So people are in the dream world of material enjoyment, anticipations, huge world of anticipation of enjoyment, which does not exist. Krishna has cared this much for that. He doesn't care. What is the nonsense? He wants to wake you up out of this dreamland of ours. Okay? Asaktam sarva bhrichaiva. Then nirguna, guna, bhoktarapi. Nirguna, he is without any qualities. Nirguna. But at the same time, he is the origin of all the qualities. How is it possible? The reason is he is without any qualities, he doesn't have any material qualities, full of spiritual quality. Harer gunakshipta matihi. And his wonderful spiritual qualities attract the heart of all the great devotees who become mad after the Lord. Correct? We go and meet so many great acharyas, hear about great acharyas. What is great? When the mind becomes enchanted by the wonderful spiritual qualities of the Lord, that is spiritual advancement. Nirgunam gunam bhoktara cha. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.